Hello, good morning. The two movements I'll be talking about will be the women's rights movement and the temperance movement, in which I will discuss and describe the problems that led to the development of the movement and at to which extent was the movement successful at achieving its goal. To start off, the women's rights movement happened the same time when the church in the United States sided with the abolitionists helping out with their cause. We have two women, which are Angelina and Sarah Grimke, which are sisters, which spoke about women's rights while conducting church presentations that wanted to end slavery. At the time, Angelina and Sarah were opposed by moderate abolitionists who were unwilling to mix the new and controversial issue of women's rights with their first cause, the rights of blacks. A few radical men, such as Garrison, founder of the Liberator, embraced women's rights fully, working to get women leadership positions in the National Anti-Slavery Group. In Document 2, we see that women's rights affected Colorado in a good way by having a higher standards in medical care and giving equal wages for women. Not only were these benefits for the women, but also for the children, giving them safety and care. They also led to reforms many social issues, such as prisons, sanitation, and hospital service. Yet in Document 3, after the movement, most women did not have equal access with profession, which provided the chief routes to political power, and it was getting exclusively difficult for women to even think about running for office. So right here we see that even though after they got their rights, women, they weren't actually equal to men as they wanted to be. They were still kind of segregated apart from political positions and high places that had any string to political ties. And this was really not much of a win for women. It was more like a white flag type of win. So now the temperance movement was a social fixture of many wrongs in society, as we see in Document 4. The cartoon depicts that the main reasons behind the movement were wrecked lives, dishonored names, and ruined fortunes, etc. It also gave textual evidence that these are in fact problems in society. Once the movement accomplished its goal, there was even more crime, and the outdated methods of the law weren't able to keep up, as seen in Document 6. It tells us a bit about how bootleggers kind of outsmarted the law. Many people actually went against the law. It was very well known that literally the police and the law wasn't able to stop all of them. We're talking about half or more than half the population that were drinking at that time. Beforehand, before the temperance movement was something, it was very well known that a lot of people drank. Children, well, not really children, but men over the age of 16 drank whiskey, and then later on, they kind of drank every day whiskey or rum, anything they had their hands on. They just wanted to drink. So, even though both movements did achieve their goal of having a law in place to prevent something or make something equal to something else, both had their flaws at the end. In the women's rights movement, they did have a law kind of passed and something. They kind of got their rights, but still they were segregated right after, in which they weren't able to have the same professions as men. And in the temperance movement, which was a total failure and waste of money, kind of like the law. We see that it was really bad. It just worsened the situation that was in America. Before, when it was legal for alcoholic beverages to be drunk, sold, and distributed, there wasn't as much crime. But once it was outlawed, crime rose quickly and the law couldn't keep up. So both of these movements actually do show that they got to their goal, but at the end the goal wasn't as they depicted it. So it turned out worse than they actually originally thought it would. Thank you for listening, and this was my explanation about the women's rights and the temperance movement.